Starting by the Constitution, some of the plastic. I think they're going to money. Roads or bridges or school or agricultural projects or what is something. Like some kind of new plan program. There are many things to develop. But we must have a priority, we must know where to start. When it's something in Angola, I said, let's develop leadership. Let us develop leaders. Because if we have good leaders, then we'll develop good systems, good structures, good policies. Now, good is something. And in fact, we don't mind more. If you don't have good leaders, then we'll be running around the rings. No one leader or steering. I think this elite applies today as well. We must have good leaders. Leadership of government, leadership of public service, leadership of academia, leadership of business, leadership of others. I'm a team player. Because I'm young, I play soccer. Now, we started on soccer. The captain may not be the best scorer, but he's the best captain. Because it is his responsibility to keep the team together and encourage us to win as a team, not as individuals. So people are something don't come to you. You must have good leadership. And someone said, politics is the role of scientists in the natural order. Because it is through politics that one can do the most good, and vice versa, through the abuse of politics, one can do the most evil. So much one is in it. It's nothing true. Why are we talking about that? Because if a university professor or lecturer is not a good lecturer, that's why Mala calls it a summa to the class for them. So it's private, you know, what the private, and then it was private with published, and private with passenger of this published. A good Prime Minister was responsible for good policies, good laws, good programs, develop education, health, services, and by having all with the one value of the nation. Salaman, one nothing of place, very nothing. Rich one, poor one, and all of that was a leadership of one per one, value more good. Now it is our responsibility to support a good leader and to ensure supporting doesn't mean we to be it's nothing. Support means you become right through from talking Prime Minister or some leader of the community, something for us, constitution to talk for us. Forget the or something nothing. So we think Papua New Guinea is a very rich country, very, very lucky country. We are blessed. We have a diversity of languages, cultures, topography, and planetary. We reach to the Pacific. In fact, in the world, we don't have one of the countries in the world that has over 800 languages to give us. And I think it is a pity that many of us do not appreciate the value of that, the value of diversity, languages. I don't know where to mark today. The diversity of religions. And that is a good thing. The challenge is how to these diverse people and churches work together to serve the national interest of Papua New Guinea. Coming to our Constitution, we can talk about 5 national goals and principles. The first national goal is integral human development, holistic development. Development in a sound classroom, even morning classroom. Tidak bilang sultas, tidak doktor sultas. Development is intellectual development, spiritual development, cultural development, and development of good capacity, and development of good relationships, integral human development of man, the whole man. Again, I don't know the solo morning. You know, morning, yes, body is important, so you know, body and by you are possible now, or suspect it. But there are other important dimensions of development which we must take into account seriously. Number two, we were sorry, equality in participation, equality in the equal, as an equal opportunity. And participation is an important tool. Participation means human beings must participate. They must bring the urgent activations of change and development. Not be a passive recipient of goods and services. You must not be a mere recipient to receive things that are predetermined by others. And you must participate in no decisions, no discussions, no debates, to determine what are the objectives, what are the goals of Papua New Guinea. Number three, goal, self-reliance, national sovereignty. Self-reliance. We can give more money hand them up on that one. But let's put the feeling on money. In fact, it's the biggest insult when we give more money hand them up and walk out of money workshop. We must enable them to participate and be their own agents of change in the world. National sovereignty. Sovereignty of Papua New Guinea is sacred. You know what among by summit. That if we go to China, we want to study this. You can emphasize on the Great Wall of China. And we go to other Chinese who walk in one bridge and doing one advice. It's not this it's not here. But they want to protect themselves from the Mongolians. Mongolians are bigger people, bigger stature, muscle man. It's a good number of the Chinese. And Mongolian went straight to the gatekeepers, bribed the gatekeepers, and went in and destroyed the Chinese. Papua New Guinea has been protected by the gatekeepers. Who are the gatekeepers? And they are politicians, what are judges, ombudsmen, chief ombudsman, or manually keep the party office. People of the Guinea sit down and start on as Mr. Papa said. As was Papa would stand in. And by the way, the 7 man or 40 man from outside, they won't waste time talking to the landowners, talking to the money owning or resources. But it was still no minister, no resources. Driving them, walking and destroying the place. So the important goal, number 3 goal. Number 4 goal, the transnational interest of natural resources. Natural resources is number 4 goal. Marking natural resources, environment, conservation and preservation. To marking wood, ground on, keep up living, Buka passage, or Buka mangrove. Today, Buka passage is finished, or mangrove finished. So the Garabin and Bodira from we walk for the time of the house on the south side. Mangrove or the pastor, mangrove, finished. Number 5th goal, Papua New Guinea. If you don't know what the 5th goal is, then I don't know what you should know. If you are Papua New Guinea, if you have any respect for Papua New Guinea, we must know the Papua New Guinea ways. You will not sit down, talk, you know about man. Okay, for Christian man can be behind. It's not before you. So look out. The sleeping or program not it. Islands of Burma. I was a kid in Bloin when the 2 first policemen from Chimbu came. remember very clearly, we're lucky. This Papua will win. We're lucky not. People are winning. Winning over running more. People are sleeping. People are running from house of power when they don't like. Okay, bukan apa itu. Kalau kita rasa terus makan was in house before the war. So you know, kita akan senior. Selalu ramai orang winning, walking, bukan itu nomor. So from then on, when people be trying to receive it, everybody has some kind of increase money, and we respect them also. Because of one war, Papua New Guinea, we stood up to the dignity of any human person, whether it's a chief or Buka or Matus or Kuana. The Mama National Law. We have that Charles Robert as sorry, others who might ask the people. Dr. Long, my international writing forward. Middle one. Thank you to the Prime Minister because he deserves the best advice that Papua New Guineans can provide to him to run his country. One is ignored. Politics is the boundaries of sciences in the natural world. Because it is through politics that one can do the most good, and vice versa, through the abuse of politics, one can do the most evil. So be sure. So that will very good, and all that one was patient. Politicians, you know what we would walk on and go up with hope mission. Sareman, Lutuman, all the money you want. So the Hamla School of Doctor was supporting this man. PNG took the Renewal, a 20-year roadmap, because an important rule of Papua New Guinea was consistent and constantly reviewing its progress towards future development. Although something is done on constitution, we talked about last week. Man is by nature self-determined, by the way. Because man has two important faculties that make him think and man is capable of making choices. Other animals can't. They go by spreading something or spreading good. Now they spread it, come back. Man, and you look at something with a man stuff. And when I was spread, that's kind of get thinking, I don't know, I'm wrong. You're wrong. Man is by nature self-determined. We can think, we can weigh the pros and cons, we can make an independent decision which leads him to do what way he does in the best interest of some good and the good of the nation. Another something you probably took from it. Papua New Guineans must not be made mere passive recipients of good services. Look at the RMA white man Chinese Singapore or something, and you know, look from another happy master of the globe until all something. We also want to do the same thing. So we, the government, has an obligation to educate, train Papua New Guineans to become their own agents of change and development. They themselves must participate in the process of development and in the process of liberation. We must liberate ourselves, free ourselves to be active agents and responsible agents of change and development. And we must also be responsible for the responsibility for the development of our neighbors. So me also be talking like so. Thank you to the Prime Minister, Micronesia Committee, one them Charles Ata and Kupla Tuwaliro. Then I think Kupla come down or Kupla people of mine. They did this foundation before. So we Kupla from Israel University, from supporting through this work. Now, conscientizing or somatic or students. We have to conscientize them, prick their conscience to know and believe in the values and principles that are being propagated by this review. You look at review, doctor, something people have been talking. People have been talking now to properly in the young time. Or it is something people are having from the government of man. And people are doing what is something like coming. People are all people are building on almost a meter to development of the leader pastor. Development of a leader, from place, from nation, from a province. I'm even talking of strong, no, decentralized, structural distribution of governmental power and responsibility, empower the people to participate in the process of liberation and in the process of governance. The one is to thank you, and then the platform to talk about you, and of this development, and we talk. We support you to the hill, we like to do from all other provinces. You will be amazed. You know my dog, and Maramika should have Prime Minister for all the time. Because people are understood. Because the best you can do for us is to share power with us. So that we become both subjects and objects of development, not the objects of development.